The 2025 CMA Awards returned with an intensity and emotional weight that few expected, unfolding into one of the most memorable nights in country music history. The show didn't just celebrate music. It captured a year full of personal challenges, public transformations, unexpected reunions, and the kind of emotional transparency that turns a simple award show into a defining cultural moment. What unfolded at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena wasn't just a ceremony. It was a night where stories collided with legacies, where personal struggles met artistic triumphs, and where the entire world paused to watch country music evolve right before its eyes. Thousands of fans filled the arena, forming a sea of lights, cowboy hats, and anticipation. Millions more watched from around the world. For weeks leading up to the ceremony, the buzz online kept building. Everyone had questions: who would dominate this year? What surprises were coming? Would certain artists return after personal controversies or long absences? Which performances would set the internet on fire? And who would walk away with the night's biggest prize? For many, the biggest curiosity revolved around one name: Lainey Wilson. Her journey to this historic night had been one of the most discussed topics all year. She had already built a reputation as one of country music's most undeniable forces, fearless, grounded, authentic, and unstoppable. But this time, she wasn't just performing. She wasn't just nominated. She was hosting the entire night, alone. Something that only two legendary women, Dolly Parton in 1988 and Reba McEntire in 1991, had ever done before. Backstage, moments before the show began, crew members moved quickly, adjusting cameras, setting cues, checking lighting, and preparing for the opening shot. Stage managers whispered into headsets, musicians tuned instruments, and performers gathered for last-minute breaths. The tension and excitement blended together in a way that could only be described as electric. Lainey stood behind the curtain, dressed in her gleaming white suit, the words CMA Awards proudly spelled across her belt. She took slow breaths, as if absorbing the weight of the moment. She had dreamed of nights like this since childhood, watching the CMA Awards on television with her family, imagining what it must feel like to walk those steps onto the stage. Her phone buzzed earlier that day with a message from Reba, offering final words of encouragement. Weeks before, Reba had given her a literal list of advice: tips on poise, voice control, timing, breathing, humor, and how to stay grounded while the world watches. Lainey kept that list close, even rehearsing some of those tips in the dressing room mirror before walking out. And then, as the lights dimmed and the crowd erupted, she stepped onto the stage. The moment she appeared, the arena roared with applause. She began with a warm, heartfelt speech about her childhood, her dreams, and what it meant to be standing in this exact position. It wasn't scripted perfection. It felt real, heartfelt, and personal. She embodied gratitude, confidence, and humility, instantly connecting with the audience. Then came the music. Lainey launched into a medley of her favorite hits, blending her country roots with modern flair. Little Big Town surprised the entire arena when they rose from their seats mid-song to join her in a stunning acoustic rendition of Girl Crush. Their harmonies wrapped around Lainey's voice with effortless beauty, creating a moment that felt both spontaneous and cinematic. The audience barely had time to process before another shock hit the stage. Keith Urban appeared, guitar in hand, walking toward Lainey with a grin. The crowd erupted. It was his first awards show appearance since the highly publicized announcement of his divorce from Nicole Kidman months earlier. The energy shifted instantly. Cameras zoomed in. Fans gasped and screamed. Together, Lainey and Keith performed Where the Blacktop Ends, taking the crowd back to 1999, blending nostalgia with emotional resonance. Keith's return wasn't loud or dramatic. It was steady, focused, and confident. The performance wasn't about headlines. It was about music. For many fans, it felt like a reset, a reminder of why Keith Urban became a global superstar in the first place. After the performance, laughter filled the room when comedian Leanne Morgan walked out wearing the exact same sparkling white suit as Lainey. Matching hat, matching embellishments, matching everything. A total coincidence or a comedic master plan? No one knew, but it sent the room into laughter. Lainey joked it felt like she was looking into a mirror. Leanne doubled down, teasing Riley Green from the stage until his face turned bright red. It was one of those unscripted comedic moments that award shows dream of. From there, the night unfolded with a blend of emotional wins, heartfelt tributes, and conversations that would ripple through the industry long after the lights went out. Zach Top delivered a guitar-driven performance that highlighted his distinct sound, raw, traditional, and honest. Later, he won New Artist of the Year walking on stage with a beer still in his hand. He laughed nervously, joking that he forgot whether he was supposed to put his beer down. His speech was touching, thanking his mother, siblings, and everyone who believed in him. It was the kind of moment fans love, unscripted, real, and deeply human. Then came one of the night's most emotional segments, the honoring of Vince Gill with the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award. Vince's career spans 50 years, 20 albums, 45 charting singles, 18 CMA Awards, and 12 times hosting this very event. His contributions reach far beyond commercial success. He shaped the sound of generations, collaborating with legends, inspiring newcomers, and influencing nearly every corner of Nashville. George Strait walked onto the stage to present the award, speaking with a calm reverence that only one legend can give to another. His words almost brought Vince to tears. He spoke of Vince's voice, songwriting, guitar mastery, and the quiet grace that defined his entire career. When Vince took the microphone, he began with humor, his usual charm, but then shifted into deep sincerity. He thanked Willie Nelson, calling him a lifelong inspiration, and offered heartfelt reflections on friendship, music, and gratitude. Soon after, another major honor was announced, Morgan Wallen receiving the International Artist Achievement Award. This award recognized his massive global impact and artistic growth. But once again, just like last year, he wasn't in attendance. The audience murmured, fans debated online, speculation spread instantly. Why wasn't he there? Was it intentional? Was it personal? Or was it simply scheduling? Regardless, the moment still held weight, marking one of the few wins in a night where he was nominated multiple times. As the show continued, early winners were highlighted. Post Malone and Blake Shelton took home Musical Event of the Year for Pour Me a Drink, a collaboration that blended Post's gritty, raspy style with Blake's traditional country foundation. The music video of the year went to Ella Langley and Riley Green for You Look Like You Love Me, a nostalgic, emotional video that resonated with fans worldwide. Ella Langley had a massive night. With 6 nominations, tied with Lainey Wilson and Megan Moroney, she emerged as one of the standout names of the year. She also won Song of the Year and Single of the Year. In her speech, she said they wrote the song simply because they loved it, not because they expected it to dominate award season. Brooks and Dunn continued their legendary streak with yet another win for Vocal Duo of the Year, their 16th. A record so massive it almost feels untouchable. The Red Clay Strays earned their first Vocal Group of the Year win, expressing disbelief and thanking their girlfriends and Jesus. Cody Johnson took home Male Vocalist of the Year. He kept things humorous, recalling how last time he forgot to thank Jesus and had to face his wife's reaction at home. This time, he didn't make the same mistake. He thanked his family, fans, and faith, delivering a grounded, heartfelt speech that further solidified his reputation as one of the genre's most genuine voices. And of course, Lainey Wilson did not leave the night empty-handed. Her album Whirlwind won Album of the Year. She spoke about writing the album during a transformative period of her life. Her words resonated with the audience, capturing the vulnerability behind her art. Later, she won Female Vocalist of the Year for the 4th time. And then the biggest award of the night, Entertainer of the Year. When Lainey's name was called, the entire arena stood. The applause was immediate, powerful, and emotional. Lainey walked onto the stage with a mixture of shock and joy written across her face. She thanked her fans, her family, her team, and the women who inspired her, including a touching shout-out to Miranda Lambert, who still holds the record for most CMA wins by a female solo artist. But it was Lainey's final message that shook the internet, a bold, unapologetic statement aimed at those who try to pit women against one another. She called out the folks sitting in their mamas' basements eating Cheetos, telling them to find something better to do. The crowd roared. Social media exploded. It became one of the night's most viral moments. From there, the show continued with performances that spanned emotions, from fun to fierce to heartbreaking. Megan transformed the stage into a dreamlike pink slumber party, performing her new track 6 months later. Ella Langley delivered a strong opening with Choosing Texas. Tucker Wetmore's viral hit, Wind Up Missing You, filled the arena with emotion, while Steven Wilson Jr.'s cover of Stand By Me served as a touching tribute to his late father. His voice cracked in all the right places, adding raw emotion that left many in the audience wiping their eyes. Shabuzi and Lainey Wilson delivered a soulful, seamless duet. Luke Combs performed 2 different songs, supported by his pregnant wife Nicole in the audience. Kelsey Ballerina's emotional performance ended with rain pouring down on her as she sang in a red dress, creating an unforgettable image. Other icons, including Brandi Carlile, Patti Loveless, Old Dominion, the Red Clay Strays, and Riley Green, added depth and variety to the night. Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton teamed up for their retro-sounding collaboration, A Song to Sing. Chris later delivered a powerful solo performance of Bad as I Used to Be. Kenny Chesney brought joy and nostalgia with a medley of hits. Before leaving the stage, he honored his late co-writer Brett James, turning the stadium into a moment of shared remembrance. The tribute was gentle, emotional, and deeply respectful. Every corner of the arena felt alive. The night honored both rising stars and living legends. It showcased heartbreak and healing, new creativity and timeless artistry. It represented the past, present, and future of country music colliding under one roof. What made this night extraordinary wasn't just the awards or the performances, it was the authenticity, the vulnerability, the real human moments. Country music at its core is storytelling, and the 2025 CMA Awards told hundreds of stories at once, stories of triumph, resilience, change, heartbreak, comeback, empowerment, legacy, love, and loss. By the end of the night, the camera zoomed in on Lainey Wilson one last time. She looked out over the crowd, an arena still buzzing, still clapping, still celebrating, and thanked everyone for allowing her to run her mouth, as she put it. The audience laughed, applauded, and stood in unison. As the lights dimmed and fans began to leave, one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't just another year of country music. It was a turning point, a celebration of evolution, and proof that the genre continues to grow, blend, shift, and surprise. And as always, everyone watching had their own favorite moment. The performance that touched them the most, the speech that hit home, the tribute that brought tears, or the unexpected surprise that made the night unforgettable. The 2025 CMA Awards were more than a ceremony. They were a reminder of how powerful music can be when honesty, passion, and storytelling come together on the biggest stage of all.